Hey guys, welcome back to Derezed on Clownfish Gaming. This is Neon. We got some gaming news for you. We're going to talk about that Quake 2 demo. Have you seen this? You can play, well, I guess it's air quotes, Quake 2 in your browser, and it's generated with AI, and people are not real happy because anything to do with AI is verboten by some people, and frankly, the demo is kind of lackluster, but it does give us a glimpse into what the future of game development is going to look like. And I'm going to be honest, I think in the future, video games aren't going to look like they do now. I think we are going to step into something that looks kind of like the holodeck from Star Trek, both figuratively speaking and literally speaking. I think eventually VR will get to a place where you will not need goggles, to experience it. We'll just have the holograms around us, but also the stuff is going to be generated on the fly, and it's going to use AI to interact with us. So we're not going to have, I don't think, and this is probably within the next 20 years, maybe 25 years, I don't think we're going to have commercially packaged games per se. I think that everybody's gaming experience will be different depending on what you want to play or what kind of games you want to play. And even the games or the prepackaged simulations or whatever the hell we're going to call them in the future are going to be different depending on who you are and how you play. So like, you know what I'm saying? So we're basically, everything is going to be choose your own adventure. That's what I think. That's what I think we're working toward. And that means a lot more game devs out of work, but in the interim, we're going to complain about AI. And, I mean, I understand it. I get it, right? This comes from Time Extension. Microsoft created a demo of Quake 2 using AI, and it's gone about as well as you'd expect, with a fundamental misunderstanding of not only this technology, but of how games work, they're saying. So as part of Microsoft's continuing push into the world of generative AI, the company has recently released a new AI-generated tech demo based on Quake 2 that is generating some strong opinions online. Yeah, because every time there's a leap in how good AI becomes, artists and developers and writers they can like hear their bank accounts crying because they know they're going to be out of work. I mean, that's just how it's going to go, right? The new Quake 2 replica was built using Microsoft researchers recently unveiled Muse World and Human Action Model WAM, they're calling it, and is being offered to users as an in-browser demo available to play on the Copilot Labs website. So that would be this. That's a very fleshy looking controller. Did you ever see Existence? I think it was Existence. So it was the David Cronenberg movie where we had like fleshy game controllers. God, that movie was so weird. But yeah, there it is. It's Quake adjacent, inspired by Quake 2. Let's see. Can we try this now? Can I try this? Oh yeah, we're good. I'm above 18. Up there we go. Thinking about it. So there it is. Well, all right. It's kind of herky jerky. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through this, but yeah, I see what they're talking about. It's kind of herky jerky. All right. So having been trained on thousands and thousands of hours of Quake 2, it aims to dynamically generate gameplay sequences inspired by the classic game, almost as if you're playing the original Quake 2, but in herky jerky vision. However, as many online, including our friends over Push Square, have noted, the demo isn't exactly a patch on the original, coming across as nothing more than a poor impersonation of one of the snappiest shooters ever made. Yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm like pushing the keys, and I'm like, come on, turn your head, dude. Even putting aside its sloppy performance, players are also reporting various other major issues that make the experience pretty miserable, including aspects of the level or enemies simply disappearing once you look away from them. Don't blink. Only to have something entirely different generate in its place. What if life worked like that? Wouldn't that be funny? Like you're talking to somebody and there's a glitch in the matrix. You talk to somebody, you look away for a second, you come back, it's somebody else. Believe it or not, they said, believe it or not, this is the same spot in the demo after looking up and down repeatedly. I can believe it. As for the general reaction from people on social media, it seems to be pretty universally negative, with a lot of criticism being directed at Microsoft for pushing the technology despite its obvious flaws. Yeah, I wouldn't have rolled it out. It's something that has been arguably amplified by recent comments from key individuals like Phil Spencer, who have boldly stated the technology may one day potentially be used to help with preservation efforts and ports. Austin Walker, a writer and game designer working in the industry, I don't know who it is, for example, responded in a viral post on Blue Sky, guys. So you got to remember it's on Blue Sky. Blue Sky's Twitter 2017. Reading Phil Spencer talking about how maybe AI can help with ports and preservation and feeling my blood boil. What a fundamental misunderstanding of not only this technology, but of how games work. He's not wrong. Let's go out and look at this post, because it's not using AI to preserve games, because the purpose of AI is to create new things based off of like old things, right? That's basically what it does. And to preserve games, all you gotta do is just, emulator ROM. If Nintendo allows us, if the gods of Nintendo allow us to archive these games, the games of tomorrow are not that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, no, that's a very bad take. Not him, but Phil Spencer, which is weird because you'd think the guy would know how games work, but whatever. They said, I think it's specifically egregious given Quake's history of speedrunning. The techniques that early Quake runners were using rely on knowledge of the deep weirdness of the actual game. Any copy of the game can't produce those strange interactions, isn't a copy of the game at all. No, it's not. If it just is skinned to look like Quake, it doesn't have all the quirks of Quake. And that's, how speedrunners do their thing. They basically memorize or exploit all the quirks of the game, and that's not going to be there because it's not the game code. Of course, as with anything AI related, there's always going to be some people to jump into counter Walker's comments by saying this technology could get better. Yeah, it could get better. It could. But, I think it probably was premature. I mean, if you're going to do this, if you're going to try to sell people on this technology, you got to at least put something out that works. I would have been like, yeah, internally we'll mess around with this for a while, but we're not going to put anything out there until it's really good. Like I saw on X, they were talking about, AI gaming and they had Grok, I think, working on code, and it was cool, but they're like, this is going to change gaming forever. And they're showing these like really crude, like Space Invader games with little very simple geometric shapes. And I'm like, we could make stuff like that with BASIC on like an Apple IIe back in the day. It's like, this isn't exactly wowing us when you can generate, a complete 40-hour RPG, complete with graphics and music and whatever, and it's consistent, and you can spin that up on the fly. Call us, and that's pretty impressive. But it's nowhere near that. I mean, we're getting a glimpse of the future, but we're nowhere near show ready, as Disney calls it. So yeah, they're now here on TechCrunch. They're a lot more positive. They said they acknowledge the limitations and shortcomings, like the fact that the enemies are fuzzy, the damage and health counters can be inaccurate. Well, it just looks like an N64 game. And most strikingly, the model struggles with object permanence, frequently forgetting about things that are out of view for 0.9 seconds or longer. Eventually it'll get there, but a lot of people are just like, yeah, this isn't, it's not ready for prime time, guys. Jeff Keighley says Microsoft has created an AI generated replica of Quake 2 you can play in browser. Every frame is created on the fly by an AI world model. Permanence is a big problem with AI. Like, it just does not understand. Even if you've used Chat GPT, you can have an entire conversation with Chat GPT and then it just like forgets everything. And you have to remind it like, hey, yeah, just go up like 2 paragraphs. And it's like, it's got the memory of a goldfish, but someday it won't. So, I mean, we're getting a glimpse of the future, but we are far, far, I believe, away from AI being to the point where, like I talked about earlier, they can generate entire games on the fly. Yeah, give it a decade or two, but that'll be the new normal. So there we go, guys. Please subscribe for more gaming news, gameplay here on Clownfish Gaming. We'll talk later.